Hey, friends, welcome back. Today's episode is a bit of a tough love moment because I'm seeing way too many brilliant service providers working hard but not growing. And it's not because you're lazy, it's not because you're not talented, it's because you're trying to grow by fixing the wrong problem. So, today I'm going to walk you through the 5 phase growth path that every successful service based business must move through. So, you can stop spinning your wheels and start creating some focused leverage momentum. So, if you've been feeling like I'm doing all the things, but something is still off, this one is for you. Welcome to the Accidental CEO podcast, where we bridge the gap between the creativity you love and the CEO mindset you need. I'm your host, Nata Salvatori, wedding photographer and business educator. Find full show notes and resources at accidentalceopod.com. Let's get into today's episode. Let's talk about that fake work that is stealing your time and keeping your business stuck. Yes, I said fake work. We've all been fallen into this trap before. It's busy work that make us feel like we're doing something, but is really not moving the needle. It's not really the thing that you need to make progress in your business. Maybe you're refining your branding instead of refining your offer. Maybe you are writing endless content, but you're making zero direct offers. There's no call to action. There's no CTAs in your offers. There's also no communication of what is the transformation that your client is going to see when they work with you. That is very important. Making sure that you have clarity on the things that you offer is huge when it comes to making sure that people understand what they're buying, right? Maybe you're building an onboarding system before you're booking clients consistently. That's another one that I see very often when I am coaching clients. People think they have a problem of lead generation when really what they need is some good clarity on their offers. People think that they need a new website, that they need new branding photos. There are all kinds of things that we can be distracted by that are not really where the problem lies, right? So you're creating passive products when your one-on-one is still not even booking. So many of these things are things that I see very often with very talented people that are wasting their time and effort trying to solve a problem that is not the real problem. So here's what I want to offer you. Most of these things will feel very productive, but they're not as strategic. They're often a distraction. They're a safety play, a way to feel busy while avoiding risk. That is a huge thing. We avoid risk as a natural action. As a human being, we are built to avoid risk. So we have to really pay attention to the patterns of behaviors that we're having in our business and making sure that we are not just trying to do things for the sake of doing things, of feeling busy, of making sure that we have something to show when it's really not something that has substance, that has value, that's going to help us really grow that business. An example of this would be, let's say you are a chef and you are trying to remodel the restaurant's decor before you even know if people like the food, right? You're too worried, too distracted about things that are not really the bread and butter of your business, are not really what's going to bring in the money, what's going to bring in the clients, and making sure that you have a sustainable business. Most of what feels productive is actually a way to avoid risk. Remember that. I invite you to do a little deep self inspection and really call yourself out and make sure that you are not wasting your time in some of these things that you don't need to be wasting your time on. So then, when you're doing all these things that are just honestly just busy work, what happens? You're exhausted. You're not growing and you're wondering if you're missing something. Well, you are. You're missing that connection. You're missing that sequence, right? You're solving the wrong problem. So let me show you the map
that framework that you can try to follow to make sure that you're focusing on the right things. So here are the 5 growth phases that every single provider needs to move through. And I want you to listen and try to spot yourself and see, am I stuck maybe in one of these? Am I trying to make sure that I'm working through all these steps as I'm working on things for my business? So, number one is clarify. This is where you really define your offer. You really have a good understanding of who your ideal client is. What is the transformation that you provide? You can't outsource confusion. You can only clarify it. So if your offer is feeling kind of vague and people keep asking, what do you actually do? This is where you are. That's probably where you're staying stuck. And that's where I see a lot of my coaching clients getting stuck is not understanding that people don't need a laundry list of items of what you're offering. What people need is to understand the transformation they're going to go through and what is the problem that you're solving. How is your solution, first of all, the right solution for them? Why are you the right person for them to get that solution from? And why do they even need that to begin with? Some people are not even problem aware. They don't even understand that they have that problem that you're trying to solve. And once they do get to that phase where they do understand they have a problem, then what's going to make them come to you as a solution? Why is your solution better than everybody else that offered that solution? Why are you the best fit for them? So all of that clarity needs to be happening when you're putting together the services. So it's not like you're not booking because your website is not pretty enough. You're probably not booking because people are not understanding what you're offering, right? So take a moment to really try to understand and see if this is where you are.
You are not failing. You're foggy. You know something is off in your business. You're spinning your wheels. You're buried in tasks. You're second guessing every single decision. Burnout is not always about doing too much. Sometimes it's about not knowing what actually matters. Chaos to Clarity audits are $97 deep dives where we cut through the noise and figure it out where your energy is leaking and why. No templates, no to-do list, just one sharp human conversation to help you name the real bottleneck, see what's in your way, and finally feel confident about what to do next. You walk away with fewer tabs open in your brain and more calm in your body because clarity isn't a luxury. It's a requirement for growing anything that lasts. Are you in? Go to accidentalceo.co/chaos. That's accidentalceo.co/chaos. I'll see you there.
All right, number 2 is validate. You sell your offer directly. Talk to real people. You got to handle the real objections. You have to understand what are people struggling with. You make real money. Until you have sold at least 3 to 5 times that product, that solution, that service, you haven't validated yet. And even if you do have had the opportunity to sell that several times, but you're not asking for feedback, then you're not really understanding the offer. You're not really understanding to validate that. Validation doesn't come from surveys, it comes from sales. So you have to make sure that the person purchasing your service, purchasing your product, is giving you good feedback to help you understand what needs to change in order for you to validate that that offer solves the problem of your ideal client. All right, number 3 is deliver. You make sure you offer services, products, things that work, and things that are sustainable for you to deliver. This is very important. That's what burnout kind of sneaks in there and stays to hang out with you. Client results are consistent for you. You're not reinventing the wheel every time. And your fulfillment, right? Your ability to deliver that service or that product really is not draining you. It is not feeling chaotic. If that's what it is,
if you're feeling that burnout and if everything's feel chaotic, this is where you're stuck. You're not understanding how to create a sustainable business that's going to allow you to grow. And that's where, you guys hear me talking about delegation a lot. This is where delegation comes in place. Having make sure that you have systems and that you have a team that can support you delivering that service or that product and continue to grow. Number 4 is systematize. You build repeatable processes. You're documenting how your clients are coming in. You're looking at data. You're looking at your numbers, how you're onboarding people, how you're delivering their service or the product, how you're going to wrap up in making sure that you have that data, that you have that feedback. This is where freedom starts to form. This is where you're building that leverage to continue to grow your business. Systems are so, so important to help you create a business that you can scale. It's great to work hard, put that hustle in for a little bit in the beginning and really build a nice business. But if you want to continue to grow and make money, you need to have good systems and delegation in place to continue to grow and make money without sacrificing your own time and sanity as the CEO of your company. And then number 5 is scale. Only now you are going to add that very good, stable team. You have that paid traffic, you have group programs maybe, or maybe you have digital products. You're scaling that what already is working for you. You've done that research, you understand your product, you have clarity, you have that sustainability. And if you try to scale before you have all of this, you're just amplifying the chaos. You are creating more problems than you have. So let me say it again. Most people don't need more. They need sequence. They need connection, clarity, and understanding of what they need to do in order to grow and scale sustainably. So I invite you to do a quick gut check. What phase are you actually in? Of those phases that I just described, right? We talked about clarifying, validation, delivery, systematize, and scale. What phase are you actually in? Where have you been pretending to be further along? Maybe you think you are, doing a great job with the delivery when you're actually staying up at night, you're running out of spots in your schedule, you can't keep up with all the products that you have to deliver. So what have you been trying to scale that isn't even validated yet? Like take a good, honest gut check and see where are you stuck in these phases of growth. And this isn't about shame, it's about creating a good, sustainable strategy for you. You get to realign. I had a client who thought that she had a marketing problem, and she didn't. She actually had lack of clarity on her offer. She didn't know how to communicate the transformation that her offer was bringing to her clients. And once she cleaned up the message and showed the transformation, boom, it happened. She was able to book her services without having to feel pushy or salesy because people were understanding where they were getting from her when they're booking her for services. Another client kept launching courses, but haven't even sold their one-on-one offer very often. So when you focus on validation, and we really put the efforts into understanding what those services were offering one-on-one, then she was able to have a nice cohort of people for her brand moving forward. That real growth happens when you honor the phase that you're actually in and not when you try to just rush through it and move on without paying attention just because you want to feel busy and accomplished. So here's your challenge this week. Pick one real thing that really moves the needle for your business, something that drives clarity, revenue, or sustainable delivery, not just busy work or polished, momentum. I want you to think about momentum. And if you want my eyes on where you really are and what to focus on next, I invite you to go on my Instagram, accidentalceo.co, and send me a DM with the word focus. And I'll send you a quick voice note
Yes, it is me. I'm the one that answers to every one of my DMs. I'll send you a quick voice note so we can connect and figure out what the next strategic move is for you. Let's stop fixing the wrong problems and let's build a business that really works for you. I hope this was helpful. It's again a problem that I see very often when I'm coaching clients. And I'm very passionate about making sure that you're spending your valuable time, which is such an amazing resource we have as a business owner, but it's such a valuable resource too. I want you to be spending that time in the things that really matter. All right, I'll see you next time for another episode of the Excellent SEO podcast. Bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Accidental CEO podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us in the world where creativity and business strategy collide. I am Nata Salvatori, thrilled to have shared this time with you. Remember, every episode is a step closer to mastering the art of being an accidental CEO. So don't miss out. Hit subscribe, drop us a sweet review, and spread the word to your creative tribe. Your next big breakthrough could be just one episode away. Join us next time for more insights, laughs, and actionable tips. Keep pushing boundaries, dreaming big, and embracing the beautiful chaos of entrepreneurship. Here's to make magic happen in your business and beyond.